Hello, Monarchs. Welcome to the second video for lesson 6.3, day 2. If you have not watched the first video, please go back and do that now as we went over everything in the first example. Okay, so now we're going to take a look at example 2. So in example 1, all we had to do was multiply one of the equations by a number to make opposites, right? We only had to not multiply the top equation by -2 to make opposites. For example 2, we have to multiply both equations by different numbers to make opposites, okay? So we're going to do that just like this. I will show you right now. So how would you make opposites in the system below? So we still have to make opposites. So we're going to say we multiply the first equation by a number and then the second equation by a number, okay? And those numbers are going to be what we multiply to make our opposites. So let's take a look. So we have a -5y and a 4y. Those are not opposites. We have a 3x and a 2x. The 3x and the 2x are smaller numbers. I know that I will have to multiply them by smaller numbers to get them the opposite, so I'm going to work with those. So I want to think about what is the least common denominator that both of these go into, right? And I think 6, right? 3 goes into 6 and 2 goes into 6. So now I have to think about what number do I have to multiply by 3 to get to 6? And what number do I have to multiply by 2 to get to 6? But then I still won't have opposites because I'll have two positives. So I also need to make one of them a negative. So I know that the first equation, to get to 6, I have to multiply 3 by 2, and I want to make it opposite of that, so I have opposite. So I'm actually going to multiply the first equation. I'm going to multiply the first equation by -2. And then I know to get 2 to 6, I have to multiply the second equation by 3. Okay, so that's exactly what we're going to do. I'm going to multiply this top one times -2. Okay, so down here, -2 times 3x is -6x, okay? -2 times -5y gets me a positive 10y, so plus 10y equals 19 times -2 would be a -38, okay? Now I'm going to multiply everything in this bottom equation by 3. So multiply that by 3, that by 3, and that by 3. And this should get me my opposites. That's why I multiply by those numbers, okay? So when I multiply 2x times 3, I get a positive 6x, which as you can see is an opposite of -6x, so we did something right, plus 3 times 4 is 12y equals -2 times 3 is -6, okay? And now that I have done all my multiplication and I can see that I have opposites, right? I have a -6 and a positive 6. Now I can solve my equation, okay? So I'm going to solve my equation by simply adding these two equations together. So -6x plus 6x, that's a 0. That's where I get my 0. 10y plus 12y would be 22y. And that equals -38 minus 6 will give me a -44. So then I would want my y by itself, and I know that 22 is multiplying my y, so the opposite of that would be a division. So I'm going to divide both sides by 22. Okay, so 22 divided by 22 cancels out. That's 1y or y. I get y equals -44 divided by 22 is -2. Okay, so I know in my ordered pair at least that my y is going to be -2. Okay, now I use this -2, plug it back into this equation to solve my x. Okay, so why don't we use this bottom equation here? Okay, so I'm going to do 2x plus 4, and instead of a y, I'm going to use what my value is for y, which is -2. So I'm going to sub in a -2 for y. Okay. And that equals -2. And now I solve for my x. Okay. So 4 times 2, or 4 times -2 is -8. So I get 2x minus 8 equals -2. I would add 8. It's the opposite of a -8. So I'm going to add 8 to both sides. -2 plus 8 is a positive 6. -8 plus 8 is 0, so I get 2x equals 6. And now I know that 2 is multiplying my x because it's right next to it. So the opposite of multiplying would be division. So now I have 2x minus 6, so I know that that 2 is multiplying my x, so I need to do division. So I'm going to divide both sides by that 2. So I divide by 2, divide by 2. Those cancel out. So I'm left with 1x or x equals 6 divided by 2 is 3. So my x would then be 3, and this would be my final answer to this problem. Okay. So thank you guys for watching. Please stay tuned for the homework help video for worksheet 6.3 day 2. Please attend Ms. Salazar's homework of the day tutorial. This is not an easy lesson. So that extra help would be very beneficial, and always reach out to me if you need extra help. I'm happy to set something up. Okay. Thank you guys.